Welcome back to Talking About Evil. My name is Mel, and today we're going to be discussing the Summer Wells case. This is our second part of our Summer Wells series. And within this series, we're going to be discussing the search and just how Summer's case went from a potentially lost child to something that just absolutely exploded on social media. And I'm going to say it quite frank, I think at some points in this case, it did become like a reality show. The drama, and I think Summer got lost somewhere in between a lot of that drama. So we want to try and bring the focus back onto Summer and onto what we do know about the case, but also acknowledge why people started to ask questions and why the parents did start to become people that, everybody was asking questions of. Okay, so let's get started. On the 15th of June 2021, police arrived at 110 Ben Hill Road, which was Summer's property, and their reason for arriving was due to a phone call that was placed to 911 by Summer's mother when she claimed she could not locate Summer on the property. So once police arrive, obviously, if you haven't seen our first series, we will link that in the description. Go and watch that. It will give you a better understanding of where Summer lived. But very quickly, where Summer did live was very remote. It was very country. And we've seen it numerous times. Children wander away. So the first setup for the police was search and rescue operation. They assembled that quickly and off they went. They went searching for Summer. By 12:07 a.m. on the 16th of June, an endangered child alert was issued, and that was very quickly upgraded to an Amber Alert. So obviously the police felt that Summer was in imminent danger. With that, we started to see multiple agencies offer help in this case, and one such agency was the FBI's CARD team. Now, what their specialty is in locating children that have been abducted by strangers. And I have to say, it's an amazing team what they do. Their success rate at finding the abductor is at 90%. So, wow. So they were called in, and lots of other resources were pulled. We had the TBI spokeswoman, her name was Leslie Earhart. She started to make some media briefings as the search continued for Summer. And descriptions of Summer, things that, were overlooked in the beginning, such as photos of Summer with longer hair. When Summer went missing, she actually had a shaved head. Her clothing, the possibility of her not having shoes when her going missing. We also saw the sheriff of the county, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson. He came out with some interesting comments, and he basically said that foul play was not ruled out and nobody was off the table, no theories. Everything was still open, so there was nobody that they felt was potentially a suspect, but at the same time, nobody that they were willing to discount. And with that, mixed with the TBI mentioning a red Toyota Tacoma pickup truck with ladders and white buckets in the back as a vehicle for the public to be on the lookout, people started to put Amber Alert, foul play, potential foul play, and of course a vehicle all together. And obviously, what do you come up with? You come up with a possible abduction. Now, this was what the family had been suggesting from basically the first media briefing, which Don Wells actually came out and spoke to the public on the 18th of June. Let's take a listen.
Donald Wells spoke on camera for the first time since his daughter disappeared.
Please, let Summer be okay. Please come home.
He says it's unlikely Summer would leave the house on her own. Wells says the last time anyone in the family saw Summer was when she entered the house to play in the basement after gardening with her mother and grandmother. Wells also spoke about his gut feeling about Summer's whereabouts.
Some bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea.
Wells says law enforcement have covered leads on area sex offenders and drug addicts.
It was from this point on that Don Wells became quite active on social media. He started to utilise his Facebook page and was multiple posts, some religious because Don Wells is actually a Seventh-day Adventist, and a lot obviously in regard to his missing child, Summer. He was also accepting any friend requests that were coming in, and his reasoning for this, he claimed, was he wanted to use social media as a tool to ensure that the public had more awareness of Summer and, in his mind, Summer being abducted. Now, what we did see was Candice Bly also do a news interview 13 days after her daughter disappeared, and she did that coupled with her husband. A local news station actually came to the property and interviewed the two of them together. And I do think that this is probably the interview that really started to stir public interest. People started to pull that interview apart. It was what they said, how they said it, past tense, body language. Anyway, let's play some and you can have a look for yourself.
My biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. She loved to be outside. And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, locked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility.
After this interview aired, I have to say there was a lot of speculation online. There was a lot of public interest and a lot of people pointing fingers at the family. The media obliged this interest and started to well and truly dig into the family and the family's past. This is where we became aware of a few registered RSOs within the family, one being Don's eldest son and the other being Candice's uncle, grandmother's brother. And it's at this point that we also became aware of addiction issues within the family, and also Candice actually losing two of her older children into the system, to the welfare system. And not long after this, they also lost custody of their three older boys. The boys went into state care. Now, there is a gag order in regard to the boys' case, so we're going to be respecting that, and we're not going to be discussing the boys much at all. We do know, or we do believe that they are happy and safe at this point, and I really think that's all that the public needs to know. As this proceeded, Don continued his engagement with social media, and he actually became quite close and connected with some YouTube creators, and he started making appearances on their channels. So we started to see Don going live with these creators. He started to explain his side, what he thought happened, and unfortunately in some of these lives we also got to see just the level of dysfunction within the household and active addiction.
She don't think we're live and shit, okay? And she's fucking going off and acting like an alcoholic. I have to get off here now.
That's fine. Thank you
appreciate
so
y'all.
much for talking to us.
Don, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Candace.
Let's talk to you later.
That's fucking lied, you dumb bitch. You are stupid, man.
I was just scratching my back. That's all I asked.
Fucking lied, bitch.
Oh, I just seen that. You're a dumbass.
It should be noted that domestic violence is not new to the family. There's been numerous call-outs to police due to DV. As early as October, prior to Summer going missing, the police were called, and Candace actually placed a protection order on Don, which she later dropped. It was also released by media when we were talking about just public interest about the long history of Don's criminal past. He's been in and out of the system since he was a teenager, and it seems to be something that, you know, he kind of caught himself back up in the cycle just recently. He's just been released again from jail for unfortunately breaking parole. He was caught drink driving. Now, I'm sure you can see a pattern here as to why people started to look at the family, and questions started to absolutely be asked, and logical questions such as, how did anybody actually get up onto that property with 5 people up on top of the hill, a driveway that was not cemented or covered? It would have made a lot of noise, any vehicle coming up and going down. Add in a lot of dogs on the property. Would they have not have alarmed somebody if some stranger had walked up and grabbed the child and ran down the hill? It just seemed so many things didn't add up. The time frame for people seemed off. Candace claiming it was just 2 minutes, and Summer just disappearing. It just one thing after another, and it certainly was something that people pulled apart, even going as far as to theorize that perhaps they had sold their daughter into the SA market. Other people thought perhaps there had been an accident on the property that the parents had tried to cover up. There was everything and anything was looked at in this case, and in our next series we're going to be looking at the main five interests that the public really honed in on with the family, of what they felt potentially could have happened to Summer at the hands of her family. And I think the real reason why people started to think not abduction but family was when the TBI came out and said, after the card team had visited and after all their searches, that there was no evidence of an abduction. No evidence. So, no evidence of an abduction, no child found lost in the surrounding property. So what did people have left? And the theories, they came hard and they came fast. And our third series will be going through the top five ideas and theories and speculations that the public came up with. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your time, and we will see you next time. Take care.